Okay, but in the beginning it was a disappointment for him, and the people laughed at him because there was nothing kept in his shop, and he was calling the people to come here, come to my shop and buy some wisdom from me. He was calling the people like that, so that's why the people were laughed at him. But the next day, one boy named Babu came there. He was a foolish boy or a stupid boy as mentioned in the lesson, who did not understand the idea of Nagendra's shop, or why he set up a shop, what he was selling there. He did not understand that, and he went to Nagendra's shop and he asked him, I want some wisdom. What is the cost of wisdom per kg and all? He asked with Nagendra. By that time, Nagendra replied, I am not selling it according to its weight, I am selling it according to its quality. After that, Babu said, okay, I will give you a nickel, that means a 5-cent coin, and give me a wisdom. And Nagendra agreed to this, and he took the nickel and gave him one advice. What was that advice he gave to him? He said that it is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting, and he told him to keep it very safely in his turban. So what is the meaning of turban? I said in my previous class, it means the headdress. Okay, so after that Babu went home and he told or informed his father what he bought that day, and he told that I bought a scrap of paper. Now in that there is a wisdom, and what is that wisdom? It is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting, and he showed his father that scrap of papers. What do you mean by scrap? Scrap means here piece, a piece of paper. So now let us move on, paragraph number 5. He was furious. He screamed at his son, you fool, paying a nickel for this nonsense? Everyone knows you should not stand and watch two people fighting. Then he went to the marketplace and stormed into Nagendra's shop and scolded him soundly. You scoundrel, you have cheated my son. He is a fool and you are a cheat. Return the nickel or else I will call the police. Nagendra said, if you don't want my goods, you can return it. Give me back my wisdom and you can have your money back. Gupta, the merchant, threw the scrap of paper at the boy and said, there, now give me back my money. Nagendra said, no, you have not given me back my wisdom. You have only returned the paper. If you want your money back, you will have to sign a document saying that your son will never use my advice and that he will always stand and watch people fighting. He was furious. What is the meaning of furious here? Furious means extremely angry. Who was furious? The merchant, the Babu's father, was extremely angry by hearing the work of his son Babu, that he bought a piece of paper for a nickel, a 5-cent coin, and he shouted at his son Babu, you fool, paying a nickel for this nonsense? This is a total nonsense. You paid a nickel for this scrap of paper? Everyone knows you should not stand and watch two people fighting. It's a common wisdom. Everybody knows that you should not stand and watch when two people fighting. Then he went to the marketplace and stormed into Nagendra's shop and scolded him soundly. After that, he went with that piece of paper to the shop of Nagendra. Stormed. He stormed. What do you mean by stormed? Stormed means here rushed. Immediately he rushed to the marketplace and he went to Nagendra's shop and scolded him soundly, very angry, very loudly. He scolded Nagendra, you scoundrel, you have cheated my son. Who said this? Babu's father, that means the merchant of the town. He scolded Nagendra that you cheated my son. have to return me back the money, that means the nickel he paid, or else I will call the police, he said. Nagendra said, for this, if you don't want my goods, you can return it. What is goods here? A piece of paper or the wisdom he sold it to Babu, and he said, if you don't want my goods, then you can return it to me. I can return it back your money to you, he said. Gupta, the name of the merchant of the town, or name of Babu's father was Gupta. He threw the scrap of paper at the boy, means Nagendra, and said, there, now give me back my money, he said. Nagendra said, no, I can't give you back your money because you did not return me back my goods. You just returned a piece of paper to me, Nagendra said to Gupta, the merchant, Babu's father. You have only returned the paper, he said. If you want your money back from me, then you will have to sign a document that your son will never use my advice, and that he will always stand and watch people fighting. So Nagendra was not ready to return his money. He said that if you want your money back, then you have to sign a document saying that your son will not use my advice. That means when two people were fighting, I will not stand and watch them. So my advice, your son should not use like that. You have to sign in a paper, in a document, Nagendra said to Babu's father, that means Gupta, the merchant of the town. Paragraph 6. The passers-by supported Nagendra, so Gupta readily signed the document and took his money. He was happy that it had been easy to undo his son's foolish bargain. The passerby means the people who were passing through that way, or some were standing over there and watching the conversation between the two. They also agreed, Nagendra, and Gupta was also ready to sign a document. He did not think much about it. He was ready to sign the document, and he signed the document, and he took his money back from Nagendra. And he was also happy that he could able to get his money back, which he lost it because of his son's foolishness. So Gupta was very happy. Paragraph number 7. A few days passed. The king of that land had two queens who hated each other. So did their maids. They quarreled as bitterly as their mistresses. One day, each queen sent her maid to the market. The maids went to the same shop and both wanted to buy the same pumpkin. There was only one pumpkin, so they began to quarrel. Their abuses and gestures were so fierce that the grocer fled the place. Babu, who happened to be nearby, remembered his father's contract with the Nagendra and went there to watch the quarrel. The maids fought, tore each other's hair, and came to blows. One of the maids noticed the merchant's son and said, "You be my witness." She struck me. The other maid cried, "You have seen with your own eyes who struck whom. You are my witness. She has hit me so many times." Then they remembered other errands and went their ways. A few days passed. After a few days of this incident, the king of that land had two queens, who hated each other, and their maids also hate each other. They quarreled as bitterly as their mistresses. Mistresses means the queens of that kingdom, how they hate each other. Their maids also hate each other, and they quarrel loudly. One of the maids noticed the merchant's son and said, suddenly one of the maids noticed Babu. Merchant's son means here Babu, and he told him that, "You be my witness, she struck me." The first maid said to Babu that you are my witness now because she struck me or hit me. By hearing this, the second maid also said, "No, you are my witness and you saw that who struck whom and you have to be my witness," she said. She has hit me so many times, and then they remembered other errands and went their ways. Errands means some other work they remembered, and both the maids left to do their work. So here Babu became the witness of those two maids' quarrel. Okay. Now let us move on to paragraph 8. The two maids went to their queens and told them about the quarrel, adding all sorts of colorful details. The queens were now furious and sent complaints to the king. Each of them sent word to Babu that he was the witness on her side. If he did not speak in support of her, she would have his head chopped off. Babu was in a panic. When his father heard of this, he too was in a panic. Finally, the son said, "Let's go and ask Nagendra. He was wisdom to say. Let's see what he has to say to get me out of this scrape." So, father and son went to Nagendra, who said he would help, but the fee would be 500 rupees. Gupta paid him the money, and Nagendra said, "When they call you to court, pretend to be insane. Behave as if you understand nothing of what they say." Here, the two maids, they returned back to the palace, to their queens, and told them about the quarrel. Means both of them how they fought for a pumpkin in a shop with all sorts of colorful details. So they added some more things to it and they expressed it to their queens. The queens were now furious. They got angry and they reported it to the king. Each of them after that sent word, or they called Babu that he was the witness on her side. If he didn't speak in support of her, she would have his head chopped off. Now Babu came in trouble that he cannot support the first maid or the first queen or the second maid or the second queen. He was under trouble now. Babu was in a panic. He got fear. Panic means here fear. When his father came to know about this, he too was in fear or panic. He did not understand what to do now. His son's life is in danger. He did not understand what to do now. But by that time, suddenly Babu remembered Nagendra and he said to his father, "Let's go to Nagendra and take his advice to get out of this problem," he said. He has wisdom to sell. That means let's ask Nagendra how Babu was delighted by the success of the ruse. He told everyone about Nagendra's great wisdom, which soon became a buzzword in the marketplace. Next day, the king called the witness. Witness is here Babu. He and his minister asked Babu various questions about the quarrel of those two maids in the market place the previous day, but he wouldn't answer any of them. He did not give any answer to any of the question of the king and his minister. He merely babbled. What is the meaning of babbled here? Babbled means to talk quickly or in a way that is difficult to understand. He did not give proper answer. He spoke like nobody can understand, as Nagendra advised him to do and utter or told nonsensical syllables, means having no meaning. Without any meaning, such words he spoke till the king lost his patience. Now king lost his temper, he lost his patience and drove him out of the courtroom. That means he sent him out of the courtroom. Babu was delighted. Babu felt very happy. So easily he came out of this difficult situation. So he felt very happy by the success of the ruse. Ruse means here a trick played by him, advised by Nagendra here. He told everyone about Nagendra's great wisdom. Now he started to tell with everybody in the market or neighborhood, everywhere he started to say the great wisdom Nagendra possessed in him, and very soon it became a buzzword in the marketplace. That buzzword means everybody started to speak about the wisdom of Nagendra after that. So in this way, Nagendra's advice helped Babu to come out from a very difficult situation, and he escaped from the queens or their maids or the king or any type of punishment. So in today's class we learned how Gupta the merchant, the father of Babu, got very angry when he come to know that his son bought a piece of paper for a nickel. He went and scolded Nagendra, take back the money he paid to him, but finally he paid 500 rupees for a wisdom to save the life of his son, because he became the witness of the two maids who were quarreling in a shop. Okay, so after that he went to Nagendra to get rid of this problem, and Nagendra advised him to act like an insane boy, and he did that when he called in the court. Finally the king and his minister asked him so many questions, but Babu pretended like an insane man or insane boy, and the king told him to go out of the court. So in this way Babu succeeded in escaping from any sort of punishment from the king. So Nagendra's advice helped Babu to get rid of this greatest problem. So go through this lesson, read it again and again and understand